Okay, today we're going to look at Lesson 10 homework. We're only going to focus on the word problem side because if you can do the front side, then the reverse is the same idea. And today we're going to be looking at multiplying 3 and 4 digits by a single digit using the algorithm. We're focusing on the algorithm. Now you can use the place value model, the area model, or the decomposition model that we did in previous lessons, but for time's sake I'm just going to perform this using the algorithm method. So question number 2 says Robert's family brings 6 gallons of water for the players on his football team. If 1 gallon of water contains 128 fluid ounces, how many fluid ounces are in 6 gallons? So I have 6 gallons of water. Each gallon has 128. So I need to figure out what 128 times 6 would be. Now you could have added 128 6 times, but we're doing multiplication to speed up our mathematical thinking. So 6 times 8 gives me 48, so that's 8 ones and 4 tens. 6 times 2 tens gives me 12 tens plus my 4 tens, which gives me 16 tens, which is 6 tens and an extra 100. 6 times 100 gives me 600 plus my extra 100, which gives me 700. So here my answer should be 768. Again, I can check this problem by using one of our other strategies, such as the place value, ones, tens, and hundreds. So I got 128 times 6. So 1 times 6 is 6 hundreds. 2 times 6 is 12 tens, which I know is 120. And 6 times 8 is 48. And so if I add all that together, I should get 768. So that's question number 2. Now question 3. It takes 687 days for the planet Mars to revolve around the Sun once. How many Earth days does it take Mars to revolve around the Sun 4 times? So it takes 687 days to revolve around the Sun once for Mars. And I want to see how many times it would take, how many days it would take Mars to circle the Sun 4 times. So 687 for 1 time, but I need that 4 times. So 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 8 is 32, plus my 2 extra tens, which gives me 34. And 4 times 6, which is 24, 25, 26, 27 with my 3 extra hundreds. So that's 2,700, which is 2,700. So it would take Mars 2,748 days to revolve around the Sun 4 times. Again, I could check this. I'm going to check this using my partial product. So I'm going to take 687 and break it apart by place value. So 600 times 4, 80 times 4, and 7 times 4. So this makes my 687, and I'm multiplying each by 4. So 600 times 4, 6 times 4 is 2,400. 8 times 4 is 32, so it's 32 tens, which is 320. And 7 times 4 is 28. So add up my partial products, zeros and 8. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, and 2 thousandths. So again, I get 2,748 days. And the final question. This one's probably the most challenging one, but we're going to take it little bytes at a time. So it says Tammy buys a 4 gigabyte memory card for her camera. Dejanay buys a memory card with twice as much storage as Tammy's. 1 gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. How many megabytes of storage does Dejanay have on her memory card? So there's a lot of information here. So I'm going to pull out the information to make it easier to work with. So I know Tammy, which I'm going to use T, has 4 gigabytes. And Dejanay, if I go back to my story, it says Dejanay buys a memory card with twice as much storage as Tammy. So twice as much means 2 times. So it's twice as much as Tammy. So it's 2 times Tammy. Well, here I can substitute Tammy with 4 gigabytes because that's how much Tammy has. So 2 times 4 gigabytes equals 8 gigabytes. So Dejanay has 8 gigabytes. I also know that 1 gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. So that's important information. So 1 gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. Question is really asking me how many megabytes of storage does Dejanay have? So I'm not trying to figure out it's 8 gigabytes. I want this answer in megabytes. And I know that each gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. So I know that I need 1024 megabytes 8 times. So 8 times 4 is 32. So that's 2 ones, 3 tens. 2 tens times 8 is 16, plus 3 more tens gives me 19 tens, which is 9 tens and 1 100. 8 times no hundreds is 0, but I do have the extra 100 left, so that would just be 100. And 8 times 1,000 gives me 8,000. So 8 gigabytes would be equal to 8,192 megabytes. And if I estimated, this is really close to 1,000. So if there's 1,000 megabytes in a gigabyte, then this would be 8,000 megabytes. But it's not. So I know my answer is a reasonable answer. But I could always check this using the partial product method like I did before. So break apart 1024, decompose it into 1,000 times 8, which I know is 8,000. I don't have any hundreds, so I don't have to worry about that. I do have 20 times 8, which is 160. Then I have 4 times 8, which is 32. So 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2, 6 plus 3 is 9, 0 plus 1 is 1, 8, my thousandths place. So I hope me walking through these problems kind of helps clear up any trouble you have. Again, it's very important that we start to memorize and nail down our basic multiplication facts. Because if we're sitting here trying to figure out 8 times 4 and we don't know that, it's going to make this problem 10 times more difficult.